lesson 10. This is the Research and Present Portfolio 1. So by now, if you took my advice, you should have already been working on your project and pretty much have it complete. But if not, just start working on it now. But for this lesson, what I'm suggesting is that you try to focus just on your visual presentation to make final revisions. So this is just what we see during your presentation, right? So check for conventions, look at your spelling, punctuation, capitalization, and grammar. Make sure you have consistent color scheme throughout the whole presentation. Make sure that you're only using about 2 different types of fonts throughout the presentation. Don't use different fonts on every single page. That's very distracting. You just want to pick two different types of fonts and then stick to those during your whole presentation so it's consistent. Make sure you have 10 or more slides. Remember, you need a title slide, an introduction slide, 6 body slides, a closing slide, and a works cited slide. So that equals 10. You can have more than that if you need it, okay? Make sure you have visuals on each slide. This is so that it keeps your audience engaged, but it needs to support the information that's given on that slide. It needs to help your audience to understand what is on that slide. So you can use charts and graphs and pictures and different things like that. And include captions and photo credits. So remember, we did this on paper last semester. You had to include pictures with photo credits and captions. And so now that was practice for this particular project, okay? Make sure that your slides have minimal information. Try to follow the rule of 6. That means there's no more than 6 bullet points with no more than 6 words for each bullet points. Remember, your slides are note cards for you to remember what you're going to talk about, and they're visuals for your audience so that they get the key points out of your presentation, and they have visuals that will help them understand the information. That is the purpose of the presentation. If your audience can go through the presentation and read it on their own, then there's no sense in you having to present it. It's not really a presentation at that point. It's an essay, right? Now, that being said, your presenter notes should be in the bottom speaker notes section of your presentation. This is where you're going to put those full paragraphs or the script of what you're actually going to be saying in your oral presentation. Because remember, there are 2 parts to this assignment. One is the PowerPoint presentation or your visual presentation, and the second part is your oral presentation, okay? That's where you are actually talking and presenting your project to your audience, okay? And so you'll be either recording that directly into your PowerPoint presentation, or you will be recording that on Flipgrid. So I'm just going to tell you, if you guys use Google Slides, you will probably have to do it on Flipgrid, because when you download it as a PowerPoint after you've inserted audio files in Google Slides, when you download it as a PowerPoint, it loses the audio. Okay, so if you're using Google Slides, it's probably just easier to go into Flipgrid and just present it there. Okay, guys. So today you're going to focus though on the visual part. Make sure you have all of that. Make sure you have that works cited slide at the end. Make sure everything looks good for your audience, okay? And that you have yourself prepped and ready to do the oral presentation. And that way I can see your speaker notes as well, so I can see what you were supposed to be saying in your presentation. Remember, most of your information is going to come from your verbal presentation, and you will work on the final draft of that part tomorrow.